She's correct.
Well, Naomi, maybe in the future we could recruit you to do some of these other things, but that's exactly right. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to put the model magic on there, and we'll use these markers or some of these things or double ended glue or tape there. Okay, all right. And so 6 of them, plenty of time for everybody to get involved in the fun. Okay, and yeah, and then we will pour water into each one, and then a little bit of this. Yeah. So, and then we'll act out the story. That's kind of, now I've already spilled the beans here, but Dustin, can I go on? I'm going to assume I can go on. Hello. Oh, there it is. Broadcast to everyone. Yes, you're live. Excellent. Okay. Welcome everybody. A little late. My apologies. We here at Our Savior's Lutheran Church, today is January 16th. Sunday, January 16th. This is Family Faith Formation once again. And we are trying to do multiple things in our congregation. We're trying to host a meeting with respect to orientating people towards the annual meeting, and of course, Family Faith Formation. We didn't want to cancel that. So we ran into a little bit of technical difficulties, and it doesn't sound like anybody was chomping at the bit anyway on the live stream. So, but this is and will be recorded on the Facebook page. So as I'm speaking here, I'm probably speaking to some people who might be visiting it a little bit later. We're going to go through a project here that can be done in your home, and we're going to go through all of the materials here with respect to the story of Jesus turning the water of wine and at the wedding in Cana. Wedding in Cana is not necessarily the most essential Bible story in the New Testament, but it is a kind of fun one. It shows us how Jesus loves to be at parties. Jesus loves to continue celebrations, and that with God, there is always great joy. The wedding feast, the party doesn't end too quickly with respect to God and the example that God shows through Jesus at the wedding in Cana. That was kind of a complicated sentence, but there it is. We look at, if you haven't done this already, look on page 410 in the Spark Story Bible. There you will have the wedding at Cana, and it is a wonderful story. And let's just reread it again. And Naomi, would you please come forward and read for us? Could you do that? Okay. I want you to read the story, Naomi. Okay. And as much as possible, kind of hold it here so that they can see it there. And then read the story for everybody. Okay. All right. And it should be picked up right. Yeah, if you could. Can you do that? You can feel free to take off your mask if you feel comfortable doing that so that they can hear you. Okay. Take a seat and read the story.
Jesus was at a wedding in the town of Cana. Jesus' family and the disciples were there. It was a grand day for a wedding. The sun was shining and everyone was singing and dancing. It was quite a party with good food and good wine. The guests said to one another, "This is probably the best party we have ever been to." And then the wine ran out. Even though the servants took every wine jar, there was none left. Jesus' mother, Mary, heard the servants tell the person in charge of the party, "All of the stone jars are empty and the wine is gone." "How can this be?" they asked. "The party isn't over yet." Mary slipped away to find Jesus. "Jesus," Mary said, "they have run out of wine. Can't you do something?" "What could I do?" Jesus asked Mary. But Mary knew Jesus could do something. Mary told the servants, "Do whatever my son, Jesus, tells you to do. I think he can help you." Jesus looked around. Over by the wall, he saw 6 large stone jars sitting near the table. Jesus walked over to the servers and said, "Fill those jars with cold water." The servers hurried to the water pool. Slosh, slosh, slosh. They filled the jars with water. When the jars were full of water up to the brim, the servers told Jesus, "We've done what you asked. The jars are full to the brim with cold water." "Good," Jesus said. "Now put some in a cup and give it to the person in charge of the party." Slosh, slosh, slosh. The servers filled a cup from the stone jar and took it to the person in charge. When he tasted it, he smiled. It was a miracle. The water had turned into wine. The wine was even better than the wine they were serving before. The man in charge took a cup of wine to the groom and gave it to him. My friend, taste this. You have kept the best wine until now. Most people serve the best wine first, but you have saved the best for last. The servers hurried to give everyone the new wine. The music played and everyone sang and danced. This was Jesus' first miracle, and when his disciples learned of it, they believed he was God's son even more than they did before.
All right, thank you, Naomi. Excellent reading. I really appreciate the expression with which you read that. Now, we're going to do a little craft, which is meant to illustrate the wedding at Cana. And so I'm going to move this phone over here. And we've got this lovely family that will demonstrate what we're going to do here, the Ronning family. And what I've got are these 6 little cups. These are supposed to represent the 6 stone jars meant for cleaning, the rite of purification. People would come to the wedding and they would wash their feet, and it was meant to kind of be a sign, a symbol that this was a wonderful event, that God's blessing would be there. Now, in order to do this particular craft, you get little cups like this. And then another thing that we have is this model magic. Now, my wife did this at home, so I know in theory that it works. So we take this model magic and we're going to wrap it around these 6 cups so that it looks kind of rustic. And then another thing that we can do once you wrap the model magic around that is we can decorate the cups. These markers will work on the model magic. Now, in theory, model magic takes about 72 hours to dry really hard. We obviously don't have 72 hours. We don't have 3 days. Like on the 3rd day, Jesus went. No, none of that. But these markers will work. And we can also put these little kind of these crafty kind of designer kind of things. Here, let me pull one out here so that you can see it. Oh, here's some flowers, for example, some butterflies. My wife went and did a really good job of shopping for me and getting all of these different things to put on them. So, Ronning family, you want to open that up? You want to start taking turns? Maybe each one of you take 2 and see if you can wrap that around that model magic in this particular craft. I'm going to focus on Naomi here. Forgive me with the bad camera angle. I'm working with Dustin Davidson's iPhone. So sometimes it's hard to kind of focus or get it framed. Wrap it around there. Yeah. I'm going to focus over here on Mom's project. We're working with son Evan. You able to get that, Evan? Yeah, look at that. That looks pretty slick. Good job. Now kind of mold it around there. It's supposed to look kind of quaint. These 6 jars, by the way, these are obviously small for our craft. But in the Bible story, in John chapter 2, these 6 jars were huge. They held hundreds and hundreds of gallons of water. And some people who've studied the Bible wonder, how could that be that they could be so big? But you never know. They might have been that big. And I think part of the story that's being shared is that the water was in such abundance in those jars, so that when Jesus did turn it into wine, it was enough wine to last a long time. They weren't going to run out of wine at this wedding in Cana. All right, good job. Dad, how are you doing? Oh, you got one pretty slick there too. Again, you can do this at home, anybody.
Good. That's good.
Is that good? You like that? Now, Evan, you can decide if you want to put some of these decorations on there. If you want to draw. We got some double-sided tape. That might help. You decide. Good job. You got it there.
Can I have a bit more toy, please?
I'm gonna get a focus on Naomi's one here. See that? Got it on the bottom there too. Now, if you're doing this at home, frankly, and you got enough time, you could certainly let this dry for 3 days and then revisit it. That might be a fun thing to do, actually. And then for nighttime devotions, you could reread and read the story of the wedding at Cana and read it to the point where your children pretty much have it memorized if you do that for 3 or 4 nights. Remember, it's so important to read the Bible. It's so important to get these stories ingrained into our young people so that they can come to them and they become like good friends that speak to them, these Bible stories. That's one of the reasons why we bottle this as a part of the worship service. We take a look at the Spark Story Bible, and I tell you what page it's on. And it's not just mom and dad that can participate in this. I hope if there's any grandpas or grandmas that find this, just stumbled upon this on their, just looking at the Our Savior's Lutheran Church Facebook page, that maybe you might want to show this to your kids or grandchildren. Well, I guess it would be show it to your kids and then they would show it to their kids, your grandchildren. You know what I'm talking about. Wow, look at Naomi. She's really got that thick. That's good. Good job.
The next one. How do you want to put on next?
Give a close-up of Bevan over here. He's doing some fine work.
Come on.
Focus on your hands. There we go.
Job. I love that one. Stick that on.
I rather suspect that those jars for the rites of purification, they might have had some design on them. Why not? They're kind of like a piece of furniture, maybe. Could very well be that they collectively, those were owned by maybe the village. And maybe they were passed from house to house as there was a wedding celebration that took place. That would make sense, I would think. The Bible scholars that like to kind of pick away at these stories and in a fun way, they point out that six is the number of incomplete. There were 6 stone jars there for the purification washing. And the symbolism that they're trying to work with is that the story of the wedding at Cana starts out as an incomplete story. And it's only when Jesus comes and turns the water into wine that it becomes a more perfect representation of God's presence among us. I don't know if that's the case or not, but I just throw that out there. Another interesting thing is as the wedding in Cana story develops, it's on the 3rd day. It's on the 3rd day that Jesus went to the wedding at Cana. Gospel writer John is already cueing our ears to the third day of what Jesus is going to do when he rises from the dead. That's another interesting piece there. Weddings back in Jesus's day, they went on for an entire week, and the whole village was involved. Frankly, to have a wedding celebration meant that that there was health, that there was wealth, that there was prosperity in the entire village. And so a lot's riding on a wedding celebration. It's saying that another generation is able to continue to flourish in this time and place. It's more than just two people or two families getting married. The entire village has a piece or an interest in what's taking place. And when you think about it, it would be good if we had a little bit more of that in our lives as well. That we had a little bit more. It's not just individual families, but individual families coming together in an entire community, loving and caring each other. What are you doing there, Naomi? Naomi's using some double piece tape.
Trying to get
these little jewels or these little decorative kind of, I don't know if they're jewels or what they are, but.
Fake jewels.
Yeah, fake jewels. There you go. It's going to try to get them to stick on the side.
There you go. Well done. One more done.
Evan over here, he's drawing. This was kind of a fun thing for, well, I don't know if my wife found it fun, but I found it rewarding that yesterday my wife went ahead and Sandy went ahead and purchased all these things and then kind of experimented to see what worked. We found out that the crayons don't work. The wax on the crayon does not stick to the model magic, but other markers, more the classic markers from Crayola, they will work. So, and again, if you have time at home and you want the model magic to dry, feel free to do that.
There. All done.
You got it all done there, Evan?
Yeah.
You want to show it off in the camera? Good job, my man. Good job. Well, we're gonna get water. You know the story, don't you, buddy? Huh?
Yeah.
What does it turn into?
Yeah.
What would you rather it turned into? Would you rather have it turn into ball?
No.
Well, you guys are a little too young to be drinking wine. However, we got a neat little substitute that we're going to be working here. Oh, did I go off? Nope, I might have ended. Oh, well. No? We got a neat little substitute. Broadcast here, everyone's still working. Okay, very good. We got a neat little substitute for turning the water into wine. We're going to turn the water into Kool-Aid. And I don't think this is too anathema or too disrespectful. At this age, obviously, we're not drinking wine, but Kool-Aid, and we've got black cherry Kool-Aid, so it's going to look like wine too. All right. So just hold that off over here. All ready there, Naomi? Want a little bit more time?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fine. While Naomi's doing this, let me brag about a couple of things that we have to offer here. If anybody is watching this and they would like to do like a word find with the Wedding of Cana, we got that for older kids. Of course, for the preschoolers, everybody likes to color. And so we've got coloring pages here. You could certainly swing by the church if you're running errands later on in the week and you want to want to pick these up. We will have these available. Here's another word find. Jesus turns water into wine. See that? And then everybody loves a maze. So we've got these little maze things that you can work on as well. So remember now, the responsibility as far as passing on the faith that, we can have Sunday school and that, and we strive for the day when we can get our congregation a little bit more re-engaged with our younger families. I don't say that as an indictment, but just simply a fact on where we're at, with COVID and that. And we do hope to get Sunday school up and running and robust. But the primary place where faith is formed is in the home. And you could have the world's greatest Sunday school having all sorts of kids just dropped off, but if it's not followed up with sentences and conversation and Bible reading in the home, that this is important, then your kids will learn that too. And this is particularly targeted towards the dads. It's imperative. It's incredibly important that as a father that you teach your children, that you model for your children that faith is important. That sometimes we think the mom takes care of the religion in the household. No, far from it. You need to be involved. You should be involved and talk about what faith means to you. Maybe with the pressures of your work, the pressures of your friendships, to include faith conversations when you're on the snowmobile, when you're fishing, and all of the aspects of life. The great outdoors is a wonderful opportunity to talk about God, because God's fingerprints are there all over the place. So do not shy away from that. Naomi, how you doing?
Almost done.
Naomi, I think you're cursed with the virtue of perfectionism here. Am I focused on what you're doing here? It is a good job, Naomi. I'll give you that. Yes, you can certainly take I want you to take these home, and yeah, if you want to decorate them further at home, you certainly can. And for those of you who have watched this, if you want them to dry, it might be easier to draw on them and do all sorts of decorating that way as well. Okay, I'm going to start lining these things up. We got 1, 2. Yeah, Paul, why don't you come over here? Paul, you're going to be our cameraman.
Actually, give me a second.
Okay.
I'm trying on hers again.
You try it from there.
I'm trying on hers.
Got it. Yep. Good. All right. Try to get in here nice and tight. We got 1, 2, 3. Want to give me that one there, Evan?
All right.
4.
This one's ready.
That one's ready. So here's number 4. Here's number 5. Thank you, Evan.
I'm almost done.
Almost done with that one. All right. We're not going to rush an artist. Is that what we're looking at here, Naomi? Okay, very good. Now, as we read the story of the wedding in Cana, we use this as an object lesson. Remember the story now, and let's retell it as best we can without looking at the storybook, at the words. They ran out of wine, and Jesus looked around, and what did he see? He saw six stone jars, right? 6 stone jars. And chances are these stone jars probably had a big puddle of water around them. because people used them to wash their feet and to wash their hands. Now, if you've got a doll at home, a Barbie doll, or maybe an action figure, you could probably like play with that, okay, and have the doll sit there and will wash his or her hands and that. And then they ran out of wine, and Jesus said, "Oh, look at this. We've got these 6 stone jars. They're filled with a lot of water." And then Jesus then told them to fill them up to the brim, which he did. And he said, "Take the water out." And using this, magically, what happens?
I'm gonna stir it a little bit.
Should I put a little bit more in? We're trying to make the best Kool-Aid possible, huh? While you're retelling the story, moms and dads, you could just keep doing this. Huh? Might be kind of fun to talk about all the uses that God uses with wine. In the Passover celebration, for example, they used wine. Jesus will use wine as a sacrament, okay? And just stir it around like that. I forgot to get stir straws. Should have got stir straws. I suppose you put your finger in there, but that might be kind of gross. So remember to get a stir straw. And what should we do with this Kool-Aid now that we've done it like this? What do you think? Can we drink it?
Evan, I think this is an obvious question for you.
Yeah. Evan, not to point out not only the obvious, but the incredibly obvious there. Evan, do you think we should drink this?
No.
No? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna drink it. Huh?
No.
Do you
Mmm.
want to drink some juice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of sweet and tart. Yeah. And we can all say together, everyone serves the good wine first, and then when everybody else is freely drunk, then the poor wine. You have saved the best wine for last. This was the first of the signs that Jesus did at the wedding in Cana. Okay. Seriously, it is kind of good. So go ahead and take some. Ah,
Would you like some from your cup?
you know, the more I think about it, just sitting here musing on this, you could probably maybe save this for a devotional thought later on in the day. Maybe have it around your dinner table, okay? As a constant reminder of the presence of God, the joy of Jesus Christ in our lives. Jesus wants to be there in everyday situations. Jesus wants to be there in very happy celebrations like wedding festivals and things like that, wedding receptions. So always take that as a great reminder with respect to the wedding in Cana, that God is present with us and multiplying the joys of life. All right. Again, thank you for your patience. If you've been waiting here to see this, this should live somewhere on the Our Savior's Lutheran Church Facebook page. It goes without saying that I want to have a deep word of thanks as well to Dustin Davidson and for Chris Magnuson, who worked with me and were very patient as we were blocking each other out this morning on our Zoom page. We're learning as we go, and we'll continue to improve on that and improve our outreach here in our church. God bless you. Now let's all close with the Lord's Prayer, shall we? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. God bless you. Good to see you. We'll see you next week. We'll have something else conjured up for family faith formation. And again, my thanks to the Ronning family for demonstrating this for us all. And we look forward to wonderful times yet ahead. God bless you, everybody. Be well. We'll see you soon. Bye.